Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome to a brand new run. The Wolf of Wallachia. Hello. Hey, Jack. Hello there. Ah, yes. Thank you for posting there. Yes, so I did a message about the history of the country we'll be playing with, Wallachia, leading up to this run. It is in the Discord. I always like to look up a couple YouTube videos or other things I can find, just a little bit of history that leads us up to the moment that puts us in our Victoria 3 starting positions. So I found two pretty good videos for that are up on the Discord. Speaking of which, let me post the message. The Twitch chat bot should be working this time, so there will be a couple reminders about it. But I'll pin a message here as well. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, friends. Jacob, hey, hello. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the Turks suck. When it comes to this run, the Turks are going to kind of suck for us. Although not the whole time. I think we'll get independence fairly quickly. John, welcome back. Welcome back, friend. Don't forget to turn off supernatural events. Yes, thank you for the reminder. I will do that once we hit new game here. Mauricio, hello. How are you? Missed the ending of the last series, but congrats on finishing it. Good luck with this new game. Thank you very much. Yep. Yeah, the VOD is on there. We finished it earlier today. It was a pretty long stream because I wanted to make sure it was done before we went on to this one. It's like 4.5 hours, but we finished it. We finished 5th in the world. It's a great power. GDP, 175 million. Not bad. So hopefully we can do that with this one. Let's make sure, though. Oh, another one. Hello in. Watching from Bucharest. Yes. Hello, hello. Hope you bring glory to the homeland. Thank you so much. I'm going to start off by apologizing for any pronunciations. I'm going to say right now, I don't know necessarily if I will say at some point in time pronounce the country Wallachia. Because in the lead up to this, in my setting up the stream and everything, I had been saying that for a little bit, and then I looked it up and I'm like, oh my god, it's Wallachia. Wallachia, Wallachia, Wallachia. So apologies in advance, but I think because I made such a big deal about it in my head, that'll be the one thing I don't mess up. We'll see. But that's awesome. Thank you for watching from Bucharest. Oh my god. Oh yeah, hello, hello. It's Wallachia time. Hype train. Oh yeah. Let's do that. Oh yeah, first of all, let's make sure we start off with our good luck charm to ease the nerves, make sure everything's going well. Hello, me. All right, right back at you, buddy. There we go. So, as we all know, we are doing a run as Wallachia. Going to form Romania, and we are hunting the... oh my god. You guys have no idea. I did a pronunciation guide on this just no more than 10 minutes ago. I said it 1,000,000 times. And now that I'm live, it's all leaving my mind. Deșteaptă-te. I'm so disappointed. Do I have that up still? No, I closed the page. You have no idea how much I wanted to say the name of this correctly. Deșteaptă-te Romani. Deșteaptă-te Romani. That is what we are hunting. Apologies. I suck so much. I did practice. As a Romanian nation, form Romania and directly own all Romanian homeland states. That is what we are going for. Try to get great relations with Russia. Yep, check. When you research nationalism, you can get some territory from them. If you have good relations with them. Yep, check and check. Got it all ready to go. So all right, enough of the preamble. Let's do this, right? So let's check the game rules. Yeah, let's turn off fantastical content. Anybody who doesn't know about this, I don't think it does anything anymore, but I don't think it was 2024. Maybe it was 2023 for Halloween. They had released an update that was only supposed to be around for a couple months. Oh no, another one. I knew it right off the top. Yeah. It was, thank you for saying it was beautifully horrible. To be fair, I mispronounce everything on this stream. To be fair, or not, not to be fair, but I released a video, or tutorial video, where I mispronounced the word subsistence farm. I was saying subsistence farm, and it is on an entire tutorial video. And I am so embarrassed about that, but it is what it is at this point. So, anyway. Yeah, so they had released a short update in honor of like Halloween, where if you played as Wallachia and formed Romania and a couple other conditions, you'd get Dracula. So they still have this here, which makes me think maybe it is still there, but not now. We're gonna go true historical run here. So let's do this. Let's do this, said Cow. So this is also cool because I have a goal to always like play in every continent and every region around the world. We have not done anything in Europe yet on the channel. So Wallachia is our first foray into Europe. So calls for Romanian unification and political independence complicate regional politics, as both Russia and the Ottomans have an interest in enforcing the status quo. Can Romania win its freedom? Of course they can. Of course we're going to do that. Let's do this. Also try to avoid becoming a vassal of the Ottomans. Yeah, and keep your liberty desire. Yep. Absolutely. Wallachia is kind of in exonym, by the way, so don't worry about mispronouncing that. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Paco, hey, hello. Right at the top here. Good to see you. Just in time. Let's do this. Good to see you, friend. Stephen B, hello. Yes, you made it. We literally just started. We haven't done anything yet other than hit new game. All right, so here's what we're doing to start off with. We're going to look at research first. Normally, so we are going to start with tech spread of Lathe, since it's the only one left in Tier 1. But we're going to do it anyway. I generally don't like to research what's being tech spread, just so we can have multiple things. But we have to get to the Atmo engine fairly quick. So we're going to go for that. Will you ally? I'll probably ally Serbia, yeah. Hey, John, or Joe, hello. Is this the Byzantium mod with Romanian flavor? No. This is just, we're not doing a mod run yet. This one is a regular game going for the achievement. Romanian unification is among the hardest in the game, mostly because you have to play off, 3 great powers at once. But that's the fun of it. I know, right? I'm excited, too, because we haven't done a run where we straight up hunted an achievement for some time now. So, now, next, okay, so we're going to get the Atmo engine. We do need some military stuff, but we got to get to nationalism. So, we will next go to banking, stock exchange. We're a single state, so even though it would be nice to get to protectionism, we're still in another country's market, and we're a single state. Mappy doesn't matter as much, so we'll go for banking first. Then we'll go for these two, and then nationalism. Then we'll go for corporate charters to get our first company. We're absolutely, at that point, going to need railways. By that point, we should have these two things. Research from tech spread. We'll get general staff and fieldworks to help us fight off the Ottomans. And this is a pretty good list to start with. Will you try to liberate as many countries from the Ottomans and liberate their subject? I would like to, yeah. I would like to get all... I'd like to get the gang back together. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Okay. Next, our initial build queue. So we get the Danube River. Oh my god, I'm mispronouncing the word river. It's not a good sign. plus 5% MAPI, plus 20% infrastructure, so this is good. In Vic 3, being surrounded by powers is good news. You're literally surrounded by 3 people who hate each other. This is true. And are extremely willing to listen to, did you hear what Russia said about you? This is true, right? Because we're probably going to get Russia to help us fight the Ottomans. So basically, we're going to stay good with Moldavia, because we can get them in as a personal union peacefully. And then we can get Bessarabia through peacefully as well. So we'll need to get this state and our freedom from the Ottomans. And then we need to get southern Transylvania, northern Transylvania, Austria and Moldavia. Not this one. I thought there was one more over here. Yes, but not. And I believe... Oh, yeah, and because... Yes. So we'll need to get those. And then this little bit of Dobruja over here. So we'll need that, but first, let's get our build queue together. So luckily, we have a bunch of logging already built. We have coal mines ready to go when we get the Atmo engine. So we really just need to start... Well, as we always do, let's get ourselves a trade center to start. I'm a big advocate for you do trade centers first now. Then tooling. Then we're going to do 2 construction sectors, a cotton plantation. And then from there, we're going to try to get iron mines. We'll start with only putting 2 in the queue, because we don't want to build up the queue too much. We might want to put a textile mill in here at some point just to have... something an urban building to sell, but I would like to get the iron mine. So, but this is our initial build queue. We take a look at our society. We are 100% Romanian, and we are 100% Orthodox. So we have state religion, we have national supremacy, but we're kind of okay for right now because we have this and we have closed borders. So we don't really have anybody coming in. Let's take a look at our leader, Alexandru Ghica. He is an abolitionist, which is going to be nice. So we're definitely going to be able to get rid of slavery much quicker than we did in our Morocco run. We're losing 100 influence with him, but it's kind of okay. Infamy minus 20% infamy generation might help us. So we want to get rid of... We want to get tenant farmers first. So the intelligentsia will help us. But I'm pretty sure... Like, that's pretty low right there. But I'm pretty sure it won't take long for the rural folk to come up. So we'll wait to throw somebody in the government. We'll give it maybe a month, and then we'll see. But we're going to start with going for tenant farmers. Let's get some decrees. Good old-fashioned road maintenance and promote social mobility. To start, we're going to do the encourage resource industry to help us with our construction sector materials. So for now, we'll use that one. The army, we can leave it as is. 4 units is not a lot. Let's see who we get here. Oh my lord, what a nice beginning role. An intelligentsia surveyor. Oh, hell yeah. But he is an authoritarian. Yikes. They're both authoritarians. Oh, wait, is this... Oh, yeah, no. Okay, so we'll start with this guy. Need to be more bold this run. This is true. We got a lot of military stuff to do this time. We definitely do. This is going to be a hard one. Fun fact, we use cheese tactics to fully unify in real life. Oh, really? Real life cheese. So cheese is okay. We rejoined World War I one day before it finished and took all of Transylvania in the aftermath. Yeah. So, yeah, at the beginning of the stream I was saying on the Discord I posted a couple cool historical videos of Wallachia and Romania. And that was a couple of things they covered. It was really interesting, actually. All right, what am I... Oh, yes, so we want to increase relations with Russia. We want to increase relations with Austria. We want to decrease relations, make sure those stay low with the Ottomans, because I think they're going to try to befriend us. Oh, yeah. Well, so we want to make sure relations stay good here, but they probably will. Are you going to colonize Africa as well? I mean, I think once we form Romania, we might look to it. We definitely can't until we get to the sea. So we'll see when we get to that point, but it's going to be some time before we can do anything like that. Anything else we need to do? Might as well lower taxes and raise wages before we get the construction sectors. I think that's it. I think this is all we need to start. Right? Right? Right. All right, everybody. Let's get our first save in since we got it all set up. And away we go. The run is off. I always love getting a new run started. Okay. Now we might increase the speed a little bit at the beginning here. Just because we're going to have to get some things built in. Now, we're going to get a trade center. We have no control over tariffs or subventions because we are in the Ottoman market. We need to make sure our autonomy stays up, or our liberty desire, stays up. So once we get the construction sector going, we'll start building some stuff to get our economic dependence on them down. A group of influential intelligentsia led by Tomayarka are petitioning for the rapid abolition of serfdom. Very nice. Yeah, we'll take the guaranteed 10% to start. So our next checkpoint is April 11th. Excellent. Excellent. So this is down. We're losing 10 prestige, but the prestige doesn't matter all that much right now. We could stop damaging relations with the Ottomans. They are not doing anything with us right now. Hey, the YouTube bot worked. Uh-oh. Does that mean the Twitch bot is still not working? All right, I'll work on that later. A series of perceived poor decisions by the pro-slavery movement has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support. Yeah, why not? Let's take that. So we're getting negative 25% enactment time. Can we... Yeah, good. So we will suppress them. Let's keep the pro-slavery movement as suppressed as we can. More pragmatically inclined members of the rural folk currently opposed to the passing of tenant farmers have offered to change their stance were they to be offered certain political concessions. Such concessions would not be popular with the landowners, however. Well, sucks to be you guys, landowners, because we're going to do that. All right, so now we wait for May 31st. Up to a healthy amount here, 30%. By the way, your liberty desire is going down. I know, yeah, I know. We will address... We have some time. We always have support, request regime support, and request market control in our back pocket because they're not going to say yes to that. So we'll keep an eye on it. We just can't forget about it. You could try to ask the Ottomans to give you your own market so you can raise your liberty desire. If that's so, it does still work, yeah. So we'll hold on to that for now, because it's going to be a little bit of time before we actually declare go for independence. But I'm pretty sure we should be able to get. Oh, good. Law went to consideration. Support independence. But we'll wait till we improve relations a little bit more with them. We're at 34. If we get a little bit higher, I think it'll give us a little bit better of a deal. But I'm pretty sure we can get Russia to help us with that. For now, we'll switch to that. Oh, look at that. The Twitch bot did work. It did work. Gotta be bold. Yeah. Superstar Banana Mix. Hello, hello. What a great name. I love it. Hey, Hamcuts. In my game, I was doing great on laissez-faire up until everybody stopped working because they were satisfied with just being in their man houses or something. Even with subsidies. What to do, what to do. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, are you also on homesteading? Because that can happen sometimes too. Because the thing is, when you're on homesteading, the people working the agricultural buildings also own it. And so they're getting dividends on top of their wages. So there's a couple things you could do. You could get wages lowered. Sometimes a good way to do that is with your religion laws. Like right now, everybody is getting plus 10% wages for being state religion. Like say you went to freedom of conscience and that lowered it a little bit. That might get them to be not as satisfied in that job and more willing to switch jobs. Let me read this and then we'll finish the thought. Frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding tenant farmers, Petru Vicrescu of the Landowners has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. Yeah, we'll do this. Now, another thing you could do... Oh, Wallachia really ripped off the Russian Empire flag, huh? Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, the Russian flag, but no. Wallachia flag. When you become the United Principalities, too, that flag is really cool. So you could look at your manor houses, and you could see, like, other than the subsistence farms, like, what's making the most money, right? So say the wheat farms were making, like, bank here. We go to the wheat farms, and you could try to lower the productivity of the building, make it a little less profitable, which will lower the profits here, and so which will lower the wages in the manor houses, and then it will get people to want to leave the job. Yeah, I was on homesteading, was playing as New Granada, formed Colombia. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, this is kind of the difficulty sometimes with homesteading. Homesteading is a nice law, but the problem is, so like, say we have this here. Under homesteading, 50% of the building needs to be worker-owned. So at least all 14 of these are with the manor houses. 7 of these levels become worker-owned, and so now... these dividends... Oh, well, we're not really paying dividends right now. Oh, no, yeah, we are. So, like, half of these dividends are going to the workers themselves. So the wages for the new building are competing with the wages here and the dividends they're getting. So sometimes switching off of homesteading could help you in that situation. A mine in Wallachia has collapsed, trapping miners within the dark shafts below. The scale of the accident has made the tragedy a story across Wallachia and the nation. See, the thing I find most times in that situation, though, is if you're... We'll just do this one for now. If you're subsidizing the building and it's still not getting people to leave, a lot of times that's a problem with qualifications. And so the only people who are qualified are the people working in the manor houses, and the people in the manor houses don't want to leave. So if you can increase qualifications, then you can get a whole new group of people who didn't qualify for the job to suddenly qualify. So you could promote social mobility, or build a university in the state that you want that, and then suddenly you could get people that weren't qualified before to do it. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, tariff all their stuff. Oh yeah, that's true. You can't do that on laissez-faire. But that, if you weren't on laissez-faire, yeah, that's also a good way to make the goods a little bit more expensive if the profitability of the building is relying on exporting the good. All right, let's speed up here so we can get these tooling workshops done. With the attitudes of the intelligentsia towards France growing more apathetic, their leadership has begun to discuss reassessing the group's support for the Wallachian French society. No, let's stay in there. And we might want to lean on France to help us eventually when we fight Austria. Ignori, hello, hello. I was promised a white Lamborghini Countach if I watch this series. I'm doubtful. Oh boy. It's in the mail. I mailed one. I didn't specify if it was real or a toy. It might be a toy. Oh wait, no, that's free trade tariff. Oh, yeah, that's right. No, wait. Yeah, that's right. That's free trade. Yeah, laissez-faire, yeah, tariff all their stuff. Then you won't be able to do any exports with it. Alright, so we got a setback. Not too bad, though. See, this is why I like to get the tooling workshops out of the way while we still have our full 10 points. Because tooling workshops take quite a while at the very beginning here. Alright. Well, that's not good. If I may ask, how do you decide when and who to go to war with? Resources, history? Well, first off, after the last run, I think everybody in here will tell you, I'm a bad person to ask for that because I'm way too hesitant when it comes to war. But I think it's usually, yeah, I don't usually use history in it, in the decision making. It's more either resources or need. Like, we're going to go to war with the Ottomans because we need independence and we need this state. So sometimes it's just a matter of, I need this piece of land. Sometimes joining wars is really helpful. Like, I have an offline run I'm doing with the United States. France had one of their revolutions. The revolution's government was more in line with my own government, and so I know... Oh, there we go. Woo. They would be more friendly with me if the revolution won. So I joined in that war on the side of the revolution. So it could be a number of things, but usually it's land and resources. Yeah, wow, you're getting pretty unlucky with tenant farmers. We were, right? We got literally two setbacks right in a row. Now we're in adoption with 2 setbacks. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so we got the tooling workshops ready to go. So let's switch to sawmills. Now we're getting our construction sectors. Our investment pool has had a little bit of time to build up, so that's good. So let's get these built. Ah, God. Goodbye, tenant farmers. I can't believe that. Well, that kind of sucks to start off here. Yep. Goodbye, tenant farmers. Okay, so we could... Oh, I was an idiot. I should have thrown the rural folk in there. I forgot to go back and look for them. God, I'm so stupid sometimes. Okay. Yeah, we actually have a decent amount here, but we got to lower the power of the landowners. We might as well go for dedicated police force then, because we can use this to lower radicals from political movements. So yeah, and we have to wait. I mean, we could try for homesteading if we throw the rural folk in there. I mean, homesteading would be ideal, but let's go for dedicated police force. If we go for dedicated police force now, also we won't have the landowners asking us to do local police force, which we absolutely don't want. So let's go for this right now, and when that's done, we can go for tenant farmers again. Yeah, RNG does it again. They're at it again. That was partly my fault too, though. I forgot to throw the rural folk in there. For this one, we don't necessarily need them. The landowners like it, so. Well, no, we can't. So we can't get off traditionalism until we get off of serfdom. The reason why we want to get off of serfdom is that we can go for getting off of traditionalism. Oh, wait, do we have romanticism already? Oh, I forgot we already have romanticism. Yeah, so we could have gone for agrarianism. Alright, well, let's finish no police force. And then maybe we go for either agrarianism or tenant farmers. Did you get good general rolls? I did, actually. We somehow got ourselves an intelligentsia surveyor right off the top. Cosmin Kolker, right? It would be Kolker. Or no, Wallachia. Yeah, Wallachia, Kolker. Oh my god. But we did get yeah, we did get a good roll. Okay. So let's get these. Let's get this construction sector built up. Yeah, this is probably going to go pretty quickly. So we have... Oh! Talk about good rolls. Oh my lord. We're starting off the private sector with furniture and paper. Well, thank you, private sector. I don't think I've ever seen the initial the initial two builds on a private sector be urban buildings. Very nice indeed. Oh yeah, the beard on that. Look at that. Look at that. Where is he? That is a beard right there. That is a beard worth fighting a revolution for. Beard goals. Beard goals right there. And actually, I think the hat makes it too, right? The beard and the hat. All right. Oh, okay. So we got a pretty good relation with Russia right now. So what can we do here? Yeah. So look at that. So let's stop damaging relations here. We can do that for now. And we could probably stop improving relations with them. Anything else? Could we get military assistance? That would have been nice, but no. All right, so give us like 15 years of supporting independence. And they'll just accept this. All right, that's going to be excellent. And it went into force. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for dedicated police force has spread like wildfire across Wallachia, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. Yeah, let's take the success chance. You got authoritarian intelligentsia guy. He's all about sending the secret police on the landowners, then ban speech unless you're supporting free speech. Yeah. There's only two things in this world I hate. People who limit other people's speech and the speech of the landowners. That's how that goes. All right. All right, we got lathe, excellent. Law advancement, that's good. A statue of Prince Alexandru Gica was commissioned, and it has been suggested that it be displayed proudly in Wallachia. Yeah, we can take it. We can take that. Why not? Let's do it. Okay, so we got the construction sectors up and going. We still got our full 10 construction points. Wood is good. Fabric, we're building. I'm so used to people mispronouncing Wallachia on purpose that it sounds strange when it's not. Yeah, right? Well, I was saying at the beginning of the stream, when I was doing, like, my research for the run, I kept saying Wallachia, and it was like... And I was saying Wallachia on purpose, because I thought that's what it was. So I've been reminding myself to no end, Wallachia, Wallachia. All right, oh, let's speed this up. So furniture, paper. So, okay, so now the manor houses. Yeah, so let them build us some wheat farms. It's fine with me. And look at that. Actually, our budget is holding good. I don't know if I want to go to a third one, though, because we want to get iron frame buildings. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, now it's picked up. Jacob, hello, hello. Intelligentsia are clever little shites. Yeah, they are. You know, I saw this interesting thing posted recently. I forget if it was in the Discord or the Reddit, about how the game kind of always makes the intelligentsia like the liberals of the political spectrum, but in this time period, they were saying the intelligentsia wasn't necessarily liberal, at least not in every instance. So I found that interesting. I want to do a little bit more of a deep dive into that. All right, we're in the adoption phase. In Romani is literally, Wallachia. Wallachia. Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, the W. Wallachia. Okay. Well, the problem is that ruins my title. The Wolf of Wallachia. Wonk, wonk, wonk. All right. Okay, so now we have some influence here. Let's start getting good with Prussia. That will eventually help us with Austria. And we can declare an interest. Let's get an interest in the Balkans here. Serbia's good with us. We might do something with them at one point, but we don't have any influence for another treaty right now. Yeah, a lot of interest conflicting in political theory. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, too, if you think about it. Like, they're trying to create a standard game format for, like, every country in the world. Every country has a different political spectrum. So, unless they're designing, like, 800 different interest groups, I could see why they just had to make some decisions about certain ones. All right, we have dedicated police force. The Volkswagen of Wallachia. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Well, this one is a play on the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. Because let me tell you, I had a very difficult time trying to find a pun for the word Wallachia. So that was the one I finally went with. Something this game kind of lacks is more political opportunism, in the sense that a vanguardist should likely not support one party state when it would give power to fascists instead of them. That's true, right? Yeah. Like how groups would should reassess their support for certain laws based on who it will affect. That would be really cool. Man, that would make adds even more complication to one of the most complicated games I think I've ever played. I mean, Wallachia would be more correct. Yeah. Well, technically, there it is, number 1. I should put a counter on the screen here. Wallachia. In Romanian is Tara Romanesca, which means Romanian country, but that's just kind of dumb. So keep calling it Wallachia. Will do. Will do. Okay, so let's throw the rural folk in here, because we're going to need them regardless. We're going to get an unacceptable government, but for the time being, that's okay. We're going to have to wait 13 more months. We could try for homesteading. There's a 17% success chance, 69% stall. This one only has an 11% stall, but we could get off of traditionalism, which would be better for us than getting off of serfdom to start. I think we'll go after this. If it fails, then tenant farmers will be available to us again. Because I just don't think we're going to get homesteading this early. Yeah, like if liberals support monarchists because it's better to support them than military juntas that threaten to deny them free speech. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Wallachia's got one awful set of laws right there. Yeah. Yeah. Although, I have to say, having played mainly with small nations, I'm kind of like, this is what they all start with. This is the more useful starting situation. I'll tell you what is actually a very difficult starting situation. Venezuela starts with interventionism. This is actually, I've done a couple runs, and it is a very difficult thing to start with, interventionism. When you're a small nation, you don't have any buildings for input goods for construction sectors set up yet, and your investment pool has no money in it yet. It's more helpful to have traditionalism because you can retain 10.5 construction points because you keep 75% of the construction pool. But when you start off, the moment you build your first construction sector, you have to lose 50% of your construction points. You could stay with wooden frame buildings, but you're going to have like 6 or almost 7 construction points, which makes everything take forever to build. So interestingly, even though interventionism is a better law, it kind of helps when you're a small country to have traditionalism at the beginning to help you build everything up and keep most of your construction points and then switch off of it. Interestingly, Venezuela is a pretty difficult start because of that. Because you also don't want to switch off of interventionism, but it makes it difficult. 69 stall is rough. Always rough. Always rough. Depends on how you do it, though. Some people can handle that stall better than others. I reread somewhere that devs originally wanted to give every IG a stance on every law, but they scrapped it because they thought it would make the game too difficult. Oh my god. Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, interesting, right? I kind of want to do a starting steps video for Venezuela. eventually at some point, because it's a very interesting start because of that. All right, so let's add... So we're going to need about 5 of these. So let's add a couple more. And what we're going to do is, I think once we get the 3rd one in, then we will switch to iron frame buildings. Oh yeah, let's see how our trade center is doing. Okay, so pretty much all exports here. All right. Sounds good. So let's speed it up a little bit. After we get these guys built, you know, I'm just going to add it to the construction queue now. Then we're going to want to get an arms industry and an artillery foundry, so we can start getting the military up and running. Although, actually, no. I want to get a textile mill going. I'm not going to throw it in here right now, though, because I want to... Well, no. I don't want to wait for the private sector, because they don't have a lot of construction points. So let's get ourselves these things. The reason why we want the textile mill and the food industry is because it'll help us be a little more economically independent from the Ottomans, which will increase our liberty desire. So right now we're depending on the Ottomans mostly for tobacco, furniture, fish, and clothes. We can't do anything about fish because we don't have access to the sea. We can't do anything about tobacco because we don't have access to it. So furniture, clothes, tools are the biggest ones. So we want to get those built. And the groceries will just generally help people's standard of living. Ooh, a lowborn man has risen as the popular leader of the intelligentsia, with some not so pleased by such social mobility. Let's take a look at our guy. Tomayarka. He's an alcoholic. He doesn't really do anything. So he's giving plus 5% interest group political strength, plus 20% interest group pop attraction. I don't know if we want to get rid of this guy. I think, yeah, we're going to keep this guy. Although for 5 years we're going to lose that interest group pop attraction. Oh, screw it. Let's see who it is. Simeon Volveranu, a moderate. Well, we messed up there. Plus 5% interest group political strength. We already had that. But negative 10% interest group pop attraction. Oh, well. What's hilarious about the intelligentsia is how their whole platform just makes the industrialists the most money. Yeah, anti-slavery. Anti-clerical. Yep. Republican. Yep. Liberal. Cultural exclusion. Protect the speech. Yeah, and then rights of women, more workforce. Yeah, that's kind of true. Let the man drink. Yeah, Whelp is right. I knew I shouldn't have done that. Life's regrets. What are you going to do? Alright, how are tools? Alright, so we will utilize the production method in the tooling workshop. See, the other problem is the Ottoman market sucks with iron. So we can't rely on them for any iron. Which is good, though, because the more iron we make also increases our liberty desire, because the Ottomans are going to be dependent on us for certain things. Like coal, we're getting a lot of stuff from. groceries as well, because they're bad with groceries in their market, tools and iron. So the more of that stuff we build, the more Liberty Desire we'll get. I missed the start. What's the goal for this run? So the main goal is we are hunting for... Oops. This achievement. As a Romanian nation, form Romania and directly own all Romanian homeland states. So that's the main goal. So form Romania, have all the homeland states, and get that achievement. And then from there, just be awesome. A be awesome run. We'll see what our situation is at that point, but you know, rise through the ranks, do our thing like chicken wings. All right. So where are we on tech here? Atmo engine. Oh. So once we get this paper mill, we can get a university. We do need to get some universities going. Oh, you know, we're starting with under 20% literacy. My white whale, the reading campaign. This one is really... I don't know why this is listed under medium. I mean, honestly, to get to 95% literacy, this is, I think, just the one short... Well... No, not the one. I have many shortcomings in the game, but this is one of them. Getting my literacy extremely high. I always kind of slack on universities and stuff like that. Yeah, the idea is the more inclusive society is, the more laborers there are, lower wages. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the difficulty there. More fun facts. That achievement translates to, yeah, wake up Romanian. It's also the first line in the national anthem. Yeah, that, when I was doing some research on this, I found that, which I thought was really cool. I love all the little Easter eggs in the achievements. There's always something it's referring to. So I thought that was pretty cool. The first line of the national anthem. Max literacy is hard mostly because the more people you get into the country, the lower it gets. This is true, too. Oh, hello, Oyid, hello. Higher education means lower births, right? Yes, that's true. The higher your education, the lower your birth rate goes. But I think ultimately the benefits of the higher literacy outweigh the lower birth rate, because your standard of living goes up, which will get you more migration. So you'll ultimately get more people. They just might not necessarily be your primary culture. Paradox did an excellent rendition of Drum Bun, a Romanian song in the Hearts of Iron 4 soundtrack. You can listen to it for immersion. Oh, very cool. I'll have to check that out. I have to get into Hearts of Iron 4 more. I bought it on the last Paradox sale, and so I got to sit down and learn how to do it. But, like, who has time in their life to learn a new Paradox game? The Shivos are something PDX's new games nailed. Oh, what is that? The Shivos. Hey, Brick House, hello. After the Moroccan run, getting high education seems like a change of scenery. Yeah, I know. I really messed that up in that run, among many other things. It's so funny because we finished as a great power and ranked 5th in the world, and I feel like I made way too many mistakes in that run. Honestly, if you're good at Victoria, Hearts of Iron 4 complexity is a breeze. Well, that's good to hear. Very good to hear. Because on the day that I bought it on the Paradox sale, I like loaded it up and I just looked at the interface and I was like, not right now. So I'll have to sit down and figure it out. It would be cool to do a run. I know there is that thing you can do where you can take your end save from Victoria 3 and then load it into Hearts of Iron 4. So that would be cool. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, wait. Let me finish here. I thought Hearts of Iron 4 was hard before I became a Victoria 3 nerd. Oh, man. Good to know. I'm doing it in reverse then. Oh, Chivos is slang for achievements. Oh, very... Okay, cool. Oh, Chivos. I get it. See, I'm just not hip anymore. I'm not cool anymore. You get 2 kids and suddenly you become lame and you find yourself telling dad jokes all day. Yeah, the Chivos are something Paradox's new games nailed. Yeah, absolutely. Agree with that. Yeah, Hearts of Iron 4 is not hard at all. Man, now you guys are making me want to go do some Hearts of Iron 4 later. Not right now, but like tomorrow maybe. Except naval combat, that is just as complex as the economy in this game. Oh, that's exciting. That's actually kind of cool to hear. Okay. We are going to get hit with a Twitch ad soon, so we should take a break. Alright, so let's get a pause here. So I'm going to, yeah, so let's get a bathroom break, quick drink. We'll appease the Twitch ad gods, and then we'll be right back. All right, and we're back, Oh, I missed a little bit here. Hearts of Iron 4 is a little bit like Vicky 3 in that everything is intertwined. That might make it tougher to fully grasp. I disagree with the guy saying it's easy. Well, yeah, in general, I think comparing to other Paradox games, because no Paradox game is easy. It's true. It oversimplifies supply, in my opinion. Interesting, okay. Yeah, now that I have a Vicky game, a grand campaign is possible. Yeah, to go, like, from, what's the grand campaign? Like, Crusader Kings into, Europa Universalis, into Victoria 3, into Hearts of Iron 4. I was not going to buy Vicky 2 and a million DLCs in one go. Yeah, by the end of a lifespan of a Paradox game, you got a hefty one. That's what's daunting to me about EU4 right now, is all the million DLCs. I'll just do the subscription on stream for a little bit. kept trying Austria runs in Hearts of Iron 4, and I kept getting wrecked. So I didn't have much fun with it. I found small nations are very hard to play in Hearts of Iron 4. I could see that, considering the focus is war and it's World War II. I could see why being a small nation in that game would be a little more difficult. Yeah, but you got to learn to design divisions, understand combat with. There are many little things in Hearts of Iron 4. It's not like Stellaris or CK3 that you can grok in 2 hours. I want to do, by the way, I really do want to do a Stellaris stream at some point. That is a game I want to add to the channel. It is just a combination of my favorite things, space and paradox. Onalat, hello, hello. Hearts of Iron 4 is easy once you understand it. I won World War II with Norway. Nice. Navy is easy too. Too easy, actually. Hopefully the upcoming changes make it more difficult. Okay. Supply, I still don't know how it works properly. I just build train tracks everywhere. Kind of like Victoria 3, to be honest with you, sometimes. Just build those railroads up. Don't sleep on Imperator, by the way. Everyone talks about how great Imperator Rome is, right? And then, but Paradox had, like, gave up on it. I gotta try that one out. Vicky 3 makes supply a lot more realistic. It's not just spamming rail. You have to have the steel and motors. That's one of the things I love about this game the most. And everybody likes to complain about the war system. I love the war system in this game, to be honest with you. Because to me, it's very realistic. In many games, like I always give the example of like Civilization, you can send one unit halfway across the world and it still costs you like 1 gold coin. But in this game, if you're going to send a unit or an army into the ocean and to some other distant land, you better have the convoys ready for it. And if you don't supply them well enough, it doesn't matter how great that army is, they're going to lose. And so I think the supply of a military should be an important aspect of any strategy game when it comes to military. And so this is a game that really does that well. All right, we got 25 months left on the Atmo engine. Once we have that, it should be fairly good to go. Although, yeah, tools are... we might need more tools sooner rather than later. Actually, are we exporting them? I hope not. Okay. Hey, Swole Joel, hello, hello. How are you, friend? How are you? Also, logistics became a big doctrine in Victoria era, therefore supply should be a big deal for war. Yes, I totally agree. The whole, like, logistics of maintaining an army is very important. And also, I like the front system because it's like, at this time, you didn't have instant communication. You really did just, like, send your generals out to a war and be like, make the best choices you can. And you could send a message to them to change tactics, but it was like, it wasn't instantaneous. So the fact that you have a front line and your generals kind of dictate what to do is a little more realistic. Now with the updates they made where you can assign specific strategic objectives to a specific army, you can send one army this way and one army that way, I think make it a little more realistic. But the idea of having like unit stacks and be like, I've decided to move this army here and that army there, I think is just not realistic to this time period, you know? So I really like the front system in this game. Doesn't the U.S. military have pop-up KFCs or something like that? I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did. I wouldn't be surprised if we did. KFC, Taco Bell, and because those two stores are, I don't know how it is in other countries, but KFC and Taco Bell are always together in the U.S. here, and then probably a McDonald's. I like the war system in Victoria 3 too. I'd like to see additions to other areas, like maybe philosophical movements. Oh yeah, that would be kind of cool, right? get some new ideas going in your country. I consider this game way harder than Hearts of Iron 4, but then again, I can't seem to break into Victoria 3. I keep trying, but I feel lost in all the possibility. It's very daunting, and I feel like this is the case with every Paradox game. There's a moment where you just finally get it, right? Like my first, before Victoria 3, I was on to Crusader Kings 3, and for a little bit I wasn't really getting it, which is funny to think because I think that game is a lot easier than Victoria 3. Not easy in general, but a lot easier. But there was like a moment where I just finally got Crusader Kings. I'm like, oh, I see what's happening here. Then I moved on to Victoria 3, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell is happening here? But I finally got it, and it was when I was doing a Cabal run. So like Cabal is just always one of my favorite countries in the game. And I just finally, like, it all just finally clicked. And I was like, okay, I think I finally understand what's happening here. I think every Paradox game, you need that moment where you're in a run and you're just finally like, I can finally see what is happening in this game. Victoria 3 is more about nudging things your way, yes. In Hearts of Iron 4, you have full control at all times, and that can be a double-edged sword. Yeah, there can be a lot of plates to juggle, or a lot of plates to spin in that one. In something like that, I can see. Drumbun was sung in the Romanian War of Independence against the Ottomans, so be sure to play that on repeat when that happens. Ooh, yeah. I hope we do it in this episode here. Oh, agrarianism. I think it'll either be near the end of this episode or maybe at the very beginning of the next one when we finally declare on the Ottomans, because we do have to get a couple things situated before we do that. I remember in World War II... Oh, Idea Horse. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I remember in World War II, America had literal boats for ice cream. Yeah. You need to have your snacks. If you're going to make people go to war, at least give them some snacks, right? Even then, though, there are so many min-max options that you can take years to learn about. That's the thing. If you're trying to do min-maxing in any Paradox game, even Crusader Kings 3, I mean, it gets very, very complicated. Also a fan of Vic 3's war system. No need for overly complicated war system. In my graph goes up high simulator. Or you hope your graph goes up high. You hope so. Sometimes it doesn't. How do you hope to win? Ottomans are huge. Well, we currently have the Russians supporting our independence. Now, there will be some RNG to it, but generally the Ottomans tend to start disintegrating the further along you go, which is why it's also pretty good to wait a little bit. But having the Russians on our side means the Ottomans are going to fight multiple fronts over here. But also their military, like, we have the same tech, pretty much. So as long as we can get soldiers, like, yeah, they have line infantry, cannons, and we have a lot of people. So once we start building up our military, we'll have a pretty good military to battle them. And the fact that we'll have someone like Russia on our side, it should be good. It's going to be tough, but we should be able to do it. Ottomans have enemies. Yeah, that's the thing. The Ottomans have a lot of enemies at this time. France is going after Algeria. Okay, so once this finishes, we can switch to iron frame buildings, get all this sped up a little bit here. But then again, I'm bad at warfare in this game. Oh, okay. Oddly enough, so war in general is not my favorite part of any strategy game. I don't mind it. It's not my favorite, and yet I feel like I'm decent at the war system in this game. It's kind of a funny thing, because it's the one thing I'm like, I don't care as much about that. So but it I also, maybe that's why I'm so cautious about it, because I know you need to be ready for it. You sort of can do, oh, mass communication, excellent. You sort of can do the ice cream thing in this game by producing chocolate, yeah, to improve your troops. And your troops, yeah, exactly. You kind of do the same thing here. I love the fact that you can give your troops opium, which we don't really have access to. It's in the Ottoman market, but once we declare independence, we're going to be cut from that market. Let's go to 5 here for a second. All right, so let's switch to iron frame buildings. Let's get the taxes up. Let's put everything back to neutral here. Let's get some taxes going. We'll tax tobacco, and we'll tax services. Agrarianism is not looking good, but we kind of anticipated that. Yeah, so we got, okay, so tools too. So we actually need to build tools sooner rather than later. So we will do tools before the textile mill. Got to go for a bit. I'll check in later. Good luck. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Steven. Yeah, hope to see you again. Thanks for stopping by and watching. I'm going to go to bed. It's almost, oh no, 4 a.m. here. Yikes. Good luck versus the Ottomans. And with those laws that you got, thank you, Superstar Banana Mix. Thanks for sticking around and chatting. I appreciate you staying up till 4 a.m. to watch this. So, yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time. I'll be on again on Wednesday. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at that. So we actually, do we have... We have 1. So we could use more here. We don't want to chase too much of this. Alright, so we're doing the paper mills now, which means we got the furniture. No, we don't want fancy furniture in here. But isn't that something that's giving us liberty desire? No. Yeah, we're using 400. Okay, yeah, so we do want to do that. Because we're buying fancy furniture from the Ottomans, and we don't want to do that. So we'll do this. I can go till 4. Nice, brick house. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. It gives you a pretty huge, easier time with taxes in the sense that increasing or decreasing them is often a huge debate in countries. Yeah, but you only debate it as a law when you change their type. I agree with that. I also kind of feel like in the game, you know how we can't change any tariffs here. But you know how, like, when you change a tariff or a subvention, eventually this grays out and there's like a cooldown period, right? That should be the case with taxes. Or like at the beginning of every year, you set your tax rate for that year, right? Because in reality, you don't change your tax rate constantly throughout the year. You pretty much just change it once a year. But man, that would be a difficult decision to make every year if you could only change it once. I wish there were more. Wait, more what? I'm gonna go 2. It's almost 5 a.m. here. Oh my god! Thank God I work U.S. hours. Oh, nice. Thank God for that. Have a good one, guys. Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. I'll be back on Wednesday evening. I'll be continuing this run. So hopefully I'll see you around then. If not, Wednesday morning I'll be doing some Civilization 7. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. See you next time. I wish there were more minor laws that we could play around with. Yeah, there's some pretty good mods for that. I've heard the Better Politics mod is pretty good for that. I do know the Cold War era mod, where you start in 1950 and go through the Cold War. There's a whole bunch of laws that you have to change there. It's kind of daunting, I feel like, when you open up the book of laws on that one. All right. So let's get more of this. Ooh. The Wallachian Russian Society has offered us an opportunity to establish a foreign investment rights agreement with Russia. The lobby has offered to use their connections to smooth the negotiating process. No, thank you. We're not making the same mistake again and giving away some investment rights too early. A series of perceived board decisions by the pro-slavery movement has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support for the movement in its current form. Yeah. Let's get that negative 30% pop attraction. Keep them low. It has been revealed that Philemon Harju of the Orthodox Church has been having a secret affair with a member of the clergy. His resignation is being demanded. Ooh, psychological affliction. So plus 5% political strength. That's not so bad. Oh, plus 15% interest group political strength. So the thing I always hate about this event is that I feel like when you have a moderate and you replace him, you end up getting like a theocrat. But this guy's giving them a lot of political strength. So force him to step down. What do we got? Yep, a theocrat. Scarred. 5% political strength. Alright, so they get a little bit less political strength. But now, instead of a moderate, we have a theocrat, which is not so bad. So Victor Sukyu. Let's see. Oh, apologies. Let's speed this up. Members of the Wallachian Russian Society have discreetly dispatched one of their number to amplify their mission in Wallachia's most widely read newspaper. Yeah, I would like to increase the Russian political lobby. Can we afford... Yeah, we'll take the -5. And who's in this? Yeah, quite a few people. Okay. I wonder if we can get military assistance from them now. It's possible, but... Okay, yeah. So not at the moment. Maybe we'll come back to it. Law debate success. we need to get a university built here. Maybe we'll do that. I keep adding stuff before this textile mill. You know, maybe 2 is a bit much. Let's scale this up slowly. So we're adding a lot of government wages here. Automate success. So let's see, we've now got 2 levels of tools. So what's our local market for that now? Okay, so we're kind of good on that. Ah, yes. Yes, yes, and yes. There we go. Oops, no. Atmo engine. Commence. Excellent. So now our construction sector has got that pretty cheap. So we still need some tools. Do we dare build another construction sector? I think we do. Through the widespread introduction of the atmospheric engine in the mining industry, productivity is at an all-time high. Yeah, give us that water tube boiler. I wonder if Austria would support our independence. Not really. Okay. Prussia? No. Okay, I think Russia is enough. Oh, the university is 400 construction points. For some reason I thought it was less than that. Ottomans are embargoing Russia? Yes, you keep pissing them off. That works excellently for me. Alright, so after these arms and artillery... Oh, you know, we do really need to get off of peasant levies. We do have some laws to work on here. I might go to professional army next. Although, you know, we're not going to have a hard time hiring officers because everybody is fully accepted. And we can do 25 standing army. And this gives us 25 conscripts, so I don't think we could afford more than that anyway. I don't know, though. I feel like we need professional army before we do our independence war. With the recent investment in Wallachia, the raw goods industry has resulted in a positive balance for the coal mines there. Interest groups are quick to try to claim credit for this investment. Yep, we'll take the industrialists one. Oh no, the leader of the armed forces retired. Now we got a royalist. Oh, look at this. Huh. What's the goal with this run? So we're specifically going for the Deșteaptă-te Romani achievement. So as a Romanian nation, form Romania and directly own all Romanian homeland states. So that's the main goal. So once we do that, I think then it's just a kind of be awesome run from there. Game certainly needs more economic warfare aspect, like blockades and ban specific goods. You can't Germany of sea goods like the UK, and it would make playing the latter more interesting. They do have blockades now. I can't really show it because we don't have a navy, but in the 1.9 update they added blockades, which is an interesting new addition. That's true. Ban specific goods. You can't really ban specific goods, but you can, so a treaty article you can make is, prohibit trade with the world market. So you can prohibit a country from trading a certain good, which means when you're declaring war, you can make that as one of the war goals. So force them to stop trading a certain good. So say we were the leading producer of steel, and our competitor is Spain, and we go to war with them, we could make that one of the war goals. And so for 5 years they can't trade it, and we just corner the market for 5 years. All right. I'd like to see the ability to limit foreign investment to certain regions. Oh, you mean like you can't just get foreign investment rights anywhere that you can get the treaty? Like there's only certain regions? Is it do you mean you only have a certain reach? So you can't get foreign investment rights all around the world, but it would be more in your region you can do it? It would be cool if you could already do that in peace with authority. Oh yeah, banning selling cars outside your country to keep having a monopoly on them for longer. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, you can't sell this good outside the country. Yeah, that would be an interesting thing to be able to do. This good is only for us here. Oh my god, we advanced consideration. If we could get agrarianism on this pass, that would be great, because I think before we go to tenant farmers, I would try to get professional army next. So you could give foreign investment rights in, say, your colonies while leaving your homelands to yourself. Oh, yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, you can invest in these colonies, but yeah, leave my main country alone. That would be a cool addition. That would add a little extra layer of strategy to things. You don't want to sell your future enemy tanks. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though, and I think this is something they might be changing, but remember, tanks and all that stuff, they're not goods that you stockpile. So say you're selling your enemy tanks. Let's just say we had we're producing 500 small arms, and we are exporting a ton of small arms to the Ottoman Empire. Let's say we're not a subject of them, we're not in the same market, but we're exporting a ton of small arms to the Ottoman Empire, or even tanks. We're exporting a ton of tanks to the Ottoman Empire. If we go to war with them, we stop giving them that input good, and so suddenly they haven't built the infrastructure to make tanks, and so now we're at an advantage because they don't have that good, and so they got to find the input good elsewhere. Because tanks, at the moment, just like ships, they're not a thing you have. It's just an input good, kind of like... So just like small arms is an input good here, tanks is an input good to the barracks. So I think as long as something like that is an input good, selling the good to your enemy at the moment is kind of strategically beneficial, because if you make their market dependent on you for that input good, the moment you go to war, their barracks suddenly have a big shortage because they don't have the infrastructure built to supply that good. But there has been talk that they're going to change some of these things, and specifically they talk about ships, that like you will build a ship and that's now a thing that your country owns, almost like a unit instead of an input good, like a constant input good. Then apply that allegory to not input good. That's where banning a good completely would be useful. Yeah, that's true. You ban the good. Yeah, so we're producing tanks, but we banned the good from being exported out of the country. Yeah, then that. Plus, even if you want for a specific country, they could use a third party to get your goods. That's true too. Another country, we could be exporting it to another country, and then that country is selling it back to them. Okay, we have the paper now, which is good because our university should be using it, as are these guys. So paper in our local market. Alright, not bad. Now, I do want to get the food industries in here before we go to war, because it'll help us with these input goods. Yeah, our only real access to sugar will be doing this. So we're going to need a lot of that stuff. Can you do that with protectionism, though? Max tariffs on exports, their duties. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. Like, you could kind of do that with a good and then, like, do high tariffs, maximum tariffs of the export to kind of dissuade trade. There might still be trade of it, but if you're doing maximum tariffs, they're probably not going to want to export it. I wonder if there's another way through this too. I think that would be the main way to do that. Okay, I think we can start, yeah, thinking about selling buildings. So let's start with the tooling workshop. Sell this to the private sector. Oh, they're already going to expand it. Okay, hopefully they buy it in the next round. So we're going to go textiles, food, arms, artillery, and then build up the army. You know, we should be adding in conscripts right now anyway. So what I want to do is build the arms industry, build the artillery, build units, and then we're going to need a second arms and artillery just for when we mobilize that army. Oh yeah, and I'm going to get rid of this. I want to keep all of the units available for infantry and artillery. And this is going to be our main army. Okay. Agrarianism is moving along. We now have a textile mill. And we have silk. So we're going to move this to there. Do we have dyes in the market? We do. So we'll do that for now. When we go to war, we'll have to change this off. Then we'll add... So let's see, we have 3. We could get 25 at the moment. 3. $13 and $12. What am I doing? There we go. Oh wait, no. Why am I so dumb right now? Oh, intensive agriculture. Excellent. There we go. There we go. Oh, we have a new leader of the Petite Bourgeoisie. He's a jingoist. Okay. So next, let's build fertilizer. Oh, good. Our tooling workshop sold. So let's take the sale thing off of that. None. But we've bought ourselves a little bit more time. I'm kind of thinking maybe we expand... we need more tooling if we're going to expand the construction sector. Here's what we'll do. Let's add a tooling workshop. Let's add a construction sector. Let's throw these guys to the top. There we go. Oh wait, although no, they're expanding the tooling workshop. Well, it's going to take some time for that. Protectionism got kind of buffed now, since you can use a concession in treaties that you got to stop certain tariffs or subventions, of goods as a lever. So it's quite better than free trade in diplomacy. Yeah, it's true. Now there's a pretty good case for protectionism, since you can't do subventions with free trade. Hey, Fundcase, hello, welcome. Are you keeping some tanks to protect your tank factory? Well, we don't really have it. Well, we don't have that yet. We're still very early in the run. But one would think, keep a couple at home. Protectionism has the most political utility. The others are just upper strata paychecks. Oh wait, what am I doing about that? I mean, the one thing early that's nice about protectionism too is mercantilism, like it gives you that trade advantage on exports, but you get negative 25% trade advantage on imports, and if you really do need some imports, I think it is better to go protectionism. Yeah, where are your tanks? In the hypothetical. Yeah, in the hypothetical, you want to keep some tanks at home to protect your tank factory. That's true. No point in giving away all the tanks so that they can come and roll over your tank factory. Yeah, good point. You're going to war with the Ottomans without tanks. We're going to war. We're going to be going to war with the Ottomans without a lot of things. We're not even going to have tobacco. There's going to be no smokes for the soldiers. Usually, the more autarkic economy laws of mercantilism and isolationism are better when you own most of the world's resources. But at that point, you already won the game. I think mercantilism is good for countries like. Oh, look at this. Like, if you're playing as the United States, the U.S. has pretty much all the resources they need within their borders. So you don't really need to be importing any goods. You have all the resources you need and tons of people. So I feel like mercantilism is good here because you get that plus 25% trade advantage on exports. That's very helpful when you don't need to rely on imports. Same thing with like Japan. If you open up the market on Japan, mercantilism is kind of nice because you have all the resources you need and you have people. I think it's only when you do need to rely on some imports that now you really need to start looking at protectionism. But I think you would need to really utilize mercantilism. You would need to be somebody really large, like the United States, where you have all the resources you need and tons of people. Earlier I heard you mention you can get land from Russia once you research nationalism. How's that work? So, look at that. Oh, well, no, we don't have to pay money. So there'll be an event that pops up. Let's see if we see it here. I don't think so. Not yet. But there will be an event that pops up where this right here, Bessarabia, if we have good relations with Austria, I forget all the conditions for it. If we have good relations with Austria and good relations with Russia, Russia will just cede the land to us. The problem is we still need to get this land from Russia, but we will be able to get this one without having to go to war. So, and I believe that's what it is. You need to have good relations with Russia, and then you need to have good relations with anybody else who has an interest in the region. And the only one who is going to have that usually is Austria. USA lacks rubber, opium, and silk. This is true. Also, late game oil gets very low, but yeah, it benefits with resource-rich countries like USA, Russia, or China. Yeah, so those three countries specifically, I would say mercantilism is the best, but most countries are starting on mercantilism, and then you kind of want to get off of it. Yeah. Taking an interest in the newly opening Wallachian economy, Great Britain has proposed a trade agreement that seemed initially equitable. On closer inspection, it contains numerous unfavorable clauses that were never agreed upon. This is outrageous. Yeah, I don't want to lose 10% on agrarianism right now and lower relations with Great Britain. This kind of sucks because we could always use an obligation to get a treaty with Great Britain, but we're already going to owe them one. So, fine. I don't want to lose the success chance on agrarianism here. Late game being friends with the UK pays off as Romania since they fight Russia the most. This is true. I do worry that eventually, just to get this little sliver of land here, we're going to have to go to war. Alright, our relations here are still good. Yep, we are moving up there. Oh, we have a bunch of influence now. And then we have another 200. Let's see, who else can we get? Oh yeah, well, let's improve with Greece. Let's do it. Because they'll join the war. They don't like the Ottomans either. That event is certified minor country moment as old as time. Certified 100% fresh. All right. Oh, nice. They're building us 2 tooling workshops. Actually, they're building us 2 tooling workshops. Maybe we can just... Yeah, let's bypass that then. The private sector has given us what we need here. Because our current tooling... Yeah, minus 22. Yeah, okay. So we'll go straight to the construction sector. We'll see if this works. Going to the third one, hopefully. Let's keep an eye on coal, make sure, yeah, we got plenty of it. And iron. Okay, good. Oh, wait. So are the Ottomans now utilizing it? No. Okay. I think we're good. Oh. What's our infrastructure at? Okay. We're still kind of okay. And damn, we could still use more government admin buildings. I don't want to build too many of them. We'll do that, and then we'll do the arms and artillery. But we do have quite a bit of unrealized taxes here. These government wages is a little concerning. You know, the government wages on the university is pretty low, though. Might be worth building a second one at the end of the queue. I think we'll add that in at the very end there. All right, let's speed this up a little bit. Build up our military here. What's our date we're waiting for here? October 5th. Okay. Okay. Well, the budget's looking a little budgety, but it's okay for now. Yeah, we are paying quite a bit. Oh. Actually, not paying quite a bit for small arms, but we're about to. Unlocks mobile artillery the moment we add it all to the build queue. In defense of the mercantile system, it works in a model with stock exchange. Okay. It works in a model with one city in which all roads lead and everyone wanted to be Rome. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It does work in that situation. Hey, Amber Cheshire. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Oh, and I was just watching some of your Morocco VODs. First time catching you live. Oh, awesome. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. This is episode 1 of a brand new run. So you caught a good one here. Hopefully it's a good one. We'll see. It's still early. The wine produced in Wallachia has been lauded by Somalis as outstanding. Yeah, it's still new. Each percent of the landowner power wanes, and Industrial smiles, imagining that new peasant in their factory. Yeah, you can just imagine this leader here of the industrialists going, excellent. This guy's Mr. Burns right here. Excellent. Go work in my nuclear power plant. And the best part for them, with no OSHA, yeah, not yet, right? Where is it? Workplace safety. Yeah, here we go. Labor rights. No OSHA yet. We don't know anything about human rights yet, but when we do, OSHA will come a knocking. Romanian Mr. Burns is canon in this timeline. He definitely is, right? I consider it canon. Now I do. Okay, let's speed up a little bit. We gotta get through all this initial stuff we gotta build. You know, we also want to try to get slavery banned. Well, we have an abolitionist prince. Yeah, that's true. He's already kind of vampiric. Good point. Good point. Ooh. We have the Great Frost going. Oh my god, is this going to turn into a Frostpunk 2 run? Let's see. Agriculture and plantations are not doing well. Ah, nice. Plus 10% minting. We can use that for sure right now. The purpose of political utility is to use protectionism to constrict some interests while elevating others. Example, restrict agriculture exports to keep landowners weak enough to replace them. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can see why that is then. Because with the law... Yeah, instead of this one where it's like, we don't want to import things, we want to export everything. Which I could see, and I can see why now that you say that, the landowners would be in support of that, because they want to export all that excess agriculture they're making. But protectionism is like, you have the mechanisms to manipulate trade to how you see fit. And maybe that's why you get leverage resistance with it as well. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, we have our small arms. Good, good, good. So that should help us here, because we're not going to need them as much. Yep, usually you don't want to stay in agrarianism for long, yeah, because it encourages you to focus in agriculture, which indirectly empowers landowners and rural folk. I know, it's true. We did it kind of out of convenience, but at this point in time now, although the thing is to get interventionism, we'll need the landowners, and they don't have a lot of power at the moment. So this might be a little beneficial to us right now to go that route for a little bit. To be honest with you, I thought this was going to fail long before, so I'm kind of surprised we still have a shot at it. Oh, all right. We're at about 2 hours here, so let's take a quick break and appease the ad gods. Oh, and if you have homesteading and universal suffrage with that setup, they make an official nothing ever changes party that blocks everything. Yeah, they're like, we like everything as it is right now. Change nothing. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break. Bathroom break, get another drink, and then I'll be right back. All right, and we're back, let's see. And if you do subventions on exports like fine art, you can liberalize society with mass production of fine art due to mass employment of academics and clerks. Yeah, that's true. And it's a very easy, the arts academies are a very easy way to become the leading producer of it and get a little bit more prestige for being a leading producer. So that's how I make art academies actually grow the intelligentsia. It's a great point. That actually is a great strategy if you really need to empower the intelligentsia, is through the arts academies. We always make jokes about the arts academies because the private industry builds like 87 levels of them, but they actually are useful sometimes for various reasons. I think prestige and intelligentsia, political strength, is definitely some really good ones. When pretty drawings lead to universal suffrage. Yeah, I mean, it kind of happened that way a little bit too, right? This is to a certain degree. Right, you can do that with anything in protectionism. Pick the winners. Yeah, I know. we would like to get on that. But there's kind of a line of laws we got to do right now. If this agrarianism passes, next we're going to get on professional army. Then we're going to get on tenant farmers. Although it's very possible we could go to homesteading because the landowners get a good amount of power from this, right? Right? Maybe not power. Maybe not power. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. What are we getting here? Those tooling workshops. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, see, look at this. We're suffering a little bit because of this Ottoman market. Like, we have a surplus of iron, but the cost of iron for us is elevated a little bit because iron sucks in the Ottoman market. Same thing with wood. Same thing with tools. Alright, we need to sell something. Oh, yeah, the textile mill. Excellent. There we go. That's sold. And then... can we get this thing sold? Why ever go for agrarianism? Oh, hello, Anton. Hello, hello. It was out of convenience. Well, for right now, we won't really be able to get interventionism because it says 50% right now. I don't believe it would stay that way. But first off, you can't. We need to get off of serfdom before we can go interventionism. We went for tenant farmers, but it failed. And so we were waiting for the cooldown for that to finish. Agrarianism became available, so we went for it. I feel like at the beginning of the game, when you have traditionalism, I'll go for interventionism or agrarianism, whichever one has a feasible chance first. Because you just got to get off of traditionalism as quickly as possible. If we do end up getting agrarianism, we'll eventually switch to interventionism. But this one is a little bit easier to pass because at the beginning of the game your industrialists are not very powerful. Better than anti-investment traditionalism, but yeah, long term it's a guaranteed agrarian society. Yeah, we don't want to stay on it forever. Sometimes it's easier to get than interventionism, and if you're planning on doing an agriculture run as someone like Argentina, it works fine. This is true, right? I still, at some point in time, I really want to get the, to go for the, what is it? The Amish Paradise achievement. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, come on. I can never find anything on this. I didn't want to spend too much time looking for this. Where is it? I know what the logo looks like, but I forget what it's called. Oh, there it is. Amish Paradise. As a Yankee nation, passed the industry banned law before 1846 and have at least 20 average standard of living. I call this the Thomas Jefferson run because Thomas Jefferson had said he sees the United States as an agrarian nation, a nation of gentlemen farmers. So he was clearly a little off on that. But I think that's the achievement to lean into that. So, yeah, so agrarianism would work well in that one. Tell the sick old man if you're to come, to come correct or else. That's damn right on that one. You better come correct because we got Russia on our side. I can tell you that right now. All right, so we've got the small arms, we've got the artillery. Now we're building the barracks. Now we're really going to get going here. It depends how much you care about slavery. If you want to ban, landowners have to be marginalized or close to it ASAP. Otherwise, the slaves will never be free. Boy, did we find that out in our last run with Morocco. Although I think in this run we're actually going to be able to get it quicker than later, because our prince, though he's a landowner, is an abolitionist. So the landowners, wait. Why did that say slaver from leader? Oh my god. Okay, no, never mind. So it's still true. The landowner, the leader of the landowners is a slaver, but our leader is an abolitionist, which will help us get the law passed pretty quickly. So I do know with Wallachia, getting off of slavery is not as difficult as it normally can be. Oh, and that... Oh, that's what just happened. See, I was like, wait, our leader is a slaver. This guy literally just popped up. Okay, that sucks. Damn. Raw goods industries in Wallachia are reporting a small spike in goods production from our sulfur mines, which has led to an extra stockpile being available in the state, and there's now potential to reinvest it back into the state. Oh, nice. Okay, extra throughput for 10 years. Very nice. Game goes the classic way of portraying the Luddites as entirely anti-industry rather than anti-exploitative industry mostly, but I guess it was necessary for the banned industry to have an ideology. Yeah, this is true. There's a lot of stuff like that in the game where they had to model it in some way, and it's not exactly what it would be historically, but close enough. Kind of like, it's kind of like with Everything Everywhere All at Once. The world is basically what it is. It's just everybody's got hot dogs for fingers. And you're like, that's fine. It's close enough. I can deal with that. That's my explanation of Victoria 3 there. All right, we're in the adoption phase here. Not bad. We're growing the military. Not bad. We've got a healthy reserve built up. We've got 3 construction sectors going, which, fine. Let's add... Well, first of all, actually, what's paper in the market right now? Can we use... Do we have the production method for it yet? No. What do we need for that? Oh yeah, mechanical tools. Okay. Well, let's add another university in there. Oh, I forgot I had added that at the end. All right. How are we on our cap? So yeah, we've got an innovation cap of 86. Yeah, this is something I really slacked on in the last run. Alright, can we do anything with the British here? They still don't what is this negative 30? So the ideological differences in governments, the power rank, and just 10 from reluctance. Yeah, they really don't want to support our independence. Oh, because they're genio with Ottomans. Really? Come on, you guys. Okay. You know who I'm sure isn't? France. Yeah, you guys are protective. Please. No, you're not. Well, I don't think there's anybody else, really. Slavery being banned was ironically more of a product of a new kind of slavery, free market leverage, with capitalist anti-worker liberalism. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the case right now. I don't think we ever got out of that one. I think one of the things that's really cool and really interesting about this game is I remember like being in high school and learning about like when it comes to the American Civil War, this idea that like, oh, the South wanted to keep slavery and the North wanted to ban it. And I remember thinking back then, like, why did the North want to ban it? You know, like, it's not like everybody in the North was like these modern multiculturalist people that were like, slavery is just wrong. Like, they were still racist back then, so why did they want to do this? And I think this game really illustrates how you cannot truly industrialize as a nation if you engage in slavery. And so then it really makes the American Civil War make a lot more sense in that I'm sure there were many people who just morally were against slavery, but the powers that be and the people that really pushed it were the industrialists in the North that were like, we need slavery banned in order for our factories to be more profitable. And I remember hearing that at one point in time and not really getting it, and playing this game, I think, really illustrates that point very well. Nothing life barely making ends in a farm as a peasant to barely making ends as a worker in a factory. Yeah, exactly. unless you're a good Victoria 3 player and give everybody a very good standard of living, which we don't have right now. Bonus point if the lord you worked is the same industrialist you work now. Like, I'm sure it happened at least once. This is true. You're no longer working for that lord. You're working for the factory owner, who is... Oh, that same dude. A lot of things we think are done for idealistic reasons are just one out of self-interest. It's how it is sometimes. Yeah, it's very true. The industrialists wanted labor capture. Slavery is labor capture for the rural elite. Yeah. Yep. And it is becoming even more apparent nowadays. Alright, we might need more iron. How the... Huh. We're losing money on the iron. Yeah, but imagine how you can undercut other competitors with the slave wages. Yeah, but the problem was, like, slaves couldn't work in factories, right? But I think the thing is, I think this is something that is a mechanic in this game that really highlights the point, is that in order to industrialize and in order to really make a factory profitable, you need to think of your workers as your customer base as well. You need them to be able to buy the products that they're making, along with everybody else. And if you think about it, and again, just kind of using the United States as an example, with how many people were enslaved in the United States, I think the industrialists in the North are looking at that many people not being able to buy their goods. Oh, can you please expand on why slavery prevents industrialization? So, the prince himself has officially opened the University of Wallachia. Academia is beginning to flourish in Wallachia. So, let's think about it. Let's talk about it in terms of, oh, we have agrarianism. There we go. Eventually I'm going to be able to get to this point. And we have empiricism. Okay. So now let's go for professional army. But let's do that. The petite bourgeoisie like it too. Can we get them in government? Excellent. Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of like we can talk about it in terms of the game here, right? Um, if you're engaging in slavery, let's take the United States here, right? You have all of these plantations here in the South, and they're making quite a good amount of money, right? In the North, you have industrialists wanting to start making factories and everything. Now, the landowners down here are making a good amount of money off of these plantations now, but the more everybody else starts to industrialize, the less dependent they are on any type of exports of those agricultural goods, right? Now, when it comes to the factories up here, in order for those factories to be profitable, you need everybody to be buying it, because the things factories are making, people can generally go without, right? The things people need the most are food. And so you need people to have a certain amount of wealth to be able to have money to buy luxury items. Not luxury in the terms of like fancy and expensive, but things that aren't, staples like grain or something like that. So you need them to have a certain amount of money. In the South here, you have, what was it? I think it was like for every one white, like free person in the South, there were 3 black slaves. So slaves outnumbered white landowners 3-1. And so the industrialists in the North are looking at that as that's that many people that can't buy our goods here. On top of that, the short-term amount of wealth the landowners in the South are accumulating give them a certain amount of political power to manipulate laws, like tax laws and regulations and things like that, that benefit them. And so they're keeping a good amount of power that the industrialists up here aren't getting. And so ultimately, you need your entire population to be your customer base if the factories are going to be profitable. And so ultimately, if you want to industrialize, slavery eventually hinders that. Slavery gives short-term profits to the landowning class, but over the long run, as the rest of the world starts to industrialize, you might be getting short-term profits, but ultimately it'll lead to an economic collapse. And I think the people in the North, the industrialists in the North saw that, and that's why it was a point to go to war over. And the landowners in the South didn't. They were making short-term gains right then, and were like, we're absolutely not going to give up on this money right now. So I think that's my layman's 2 glasses of wine in kind of explanation of it, if any of that made sense. More overhead. Factories are more expensive. Plantations are just show up and use your hands. Yeah. And the North needed the South for all sorts of reasons. Abolition wasn't one of them, or sharecropping wouldn't have been a thing after that. After though, yeah. I can't really compete with profit margins of slave plantations if you have to buy equipment. Yep, exactly as well. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the thing too. And so I think that was a concept I had heard before, but I never really understood why. And after playing this game, I was like, oh, I kind of get it. Because it's true, once you get rid of slavery, it's a lot easier to industrialize here, because you have so much more of your population now buying all of your goods. Okay, that being said, we need to sell. So this isn't fully profitable yet. Oh. Okay, we now need iron. Though we are having... Why is it showing us an input bit shortage? Alright, I think we need to... We need more iron before we continue. Let's get a couple more of those. We have plenty of people. Let's take a look. Okay. So we have all of these guys. So now we need a defensive person. None of these guys are really good defensively, so we might as well take, well, he's authoritarian. We'll take the intelligentsia guy. Your explanation is really good too. Thank you. Further proves the liberals are always oligarch employees. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much in the end, that's what it all comes down to. I mean, in the end, the whole war was a war between two ruling classes, right? Like, I thought there was this really excellent movie that highlighted this one idea. I think it was called, like, The Free State of Jones. It was about this real-life guy in Alabama who didn't approve of the Civil War only because he was like, why am I going to go to war for the South for these rich people? I'm not going to get any benefit from that. Which isn't to say, you know, people there were anti-slavery. They weren't. But there was this sentiment of, like, I'm going to war for this rich person to gain more money. And I think that was the same thing in the North here, too. I think there was still some element of this is kind of a morally reprehensible thing to do. But I think the thing that really drove it was this idea of industrialization. You would be drunk quickly if you to each Reddit post of Victoria 3 that says something, slavery is actually meta now. Yeah. I'll go post that on there. And see what kind of responses I get. Slavery's meta. That would definitely go into the shit Victorians say thread. I don't know if anybody knows of this, but there's another Reddit thread called Shit Victorians Say, and it's just screenshots of posts people make in the Victoria 3 Reddit that, if taken out of context of the game, like sound awful or ridiculous. Like there's things like, how do I do genocide better, or like something like that. That would definitely be, slavery is meta now, would definitely fall into the shit Victorians say. Hey Jabba, hello, welcome, good to see you, friend. How you doing? Just another power grab, same as the last, same as the next. Always. Fighting wars for the rich man. Alright, let's speed this up here. So getting the unit experience too will be very beneficial to us if we can get this passed. Oh, and now actually, so now we have a legit private queue going since we're splitting construction points. Fun fact, the petite bourgeoisie are secretly the most racist pricks in the game. Yeah, they are. It's so true. Oh man, especially late game, I feel like they really kind of irk you to no end. Which is funny because they're supposed to be like the middle class. But man, do they sometimes piss you off with their allegiances. I'm like, really, guys? Really? Finish with Morocco. Yeah, we finished Morocco earlier today. We did well. We finished 5th in the world. We got 2 achievements out of it. 170 million GDP, I think, in the end. Not bad considering we started with a GDP of 800K. So yeah, I think it went well. I think the Morocco run was either my best off bad run or my worst good run, because we did finish 5th. That's a great power. But I feel like I made a lot of mistakes in that run that were just things I should not have made. CK3 say, and Victoria 3 says, is perfect when you like questioning why humanity exists. This is true. Crusader Kings 3 does have moments like that. Like, oh my god, how did we ever make it past this time period? Secretly, the IG with reactionaries racist. I hate oh my god, the reactionary movement. They are the absolute worst, right? Every time they pop up, and it's funny because I always forget how much they suck until they pop up, and I'm like, oh, I remember something about this. Let me look at them, and then I look at their laws, and I'm like, oh man, you guys suck. Yeah, the reactionary movement sucks. Not bad, not bad. Nice. Well, we got stuck on slavery. Oh, yeah. Yeah, in the Morocco run, we got stuck on slavery quite a bit. I think in this one, once we're finally done with some of these initial laws, we might be able to get off of it fairly quickly because our leader is an abolitionist. Though our leader of the landowners is now a slaver, so... But we can't get any of these guys because we're on closed borders. But our leader being an abolitionist might help us. So we might have a little bit better of a time here. That entire Morocco run, we had such a hard time passing laws. It was ridiculous. You have to be 60 or above in national supremacy to even be part of the petite bourgeoisie. I didn't know that until recently. Really? I don't think I knew that. Yeah, first of all, when they're pissed, like, they have xenophobia here. That sucks. Yeah, like, sometimes their laws kind of suck, too. Yeah, cultural acceptance, yeah. Reactionary as a word makes you think that if a society doesn't originally have slavery, then it does, so the people that want to go back, can we agree, are objectively good reactionaries? Wait, reactionary as a word makes you think that if a society doesn't originally have slavery, then it does so the people that want to go back, can we agree, are objectively good reactionaries. I mean, yeah, if you want to go away from slavery, then objectively you're good. So if you're reacting away from slavery, then sure. Morocco remained a slave state forever in real life. This is true too. I guess so. Yeah, I guess it was very historical and apropos that we had such a hard time with it. Their laws are decent early game when they are nowhere to be found. What do you mean for Morocco? I think we did have quite a few good laws, like, other than slavery, but half of the game starts with slavery, so... But I guess you have them now. Yeah, we have some pretty good laws now. Like, we're on legacy slavery instead of full-on slavery. Oh, you know, we got to get off of hereditary bureaucrats. I mean, there's kind of a... We kind of have a laundry list of stuff. Oh, they're damaging relations, are they? Ooh, let's slow down for a second here. We are getting ever closer to debt. Anybody want to buy a small arms factory? Alright, well, I think we'll be okay for a period of time. Oh, you know, we could... I don't really want to sell a lot of the iron mines, though. Because one of the first companies that we're going to get, I want to get are the iron company. I wonder if we can get this building sold, the cotton plantation. Yeah, there we go. So I wonder, we own 7 levels. Can I just get 2 of them sold? Ooh, perfect. Look at that. We still held on to 5. Because I think we need 5 levels to start it. Alright, look at that. And it gave us a good buffer here. Nice. Alright. In Brazil, you can get the petit bourgeoisie to replace reactionary with modernizer. Ooh. Which makes them so much more tolerable. Too bad only Brazil can do that as scripted content and is not universal. Oh, very cool. I gotta go back and do a Brazil run. It's been a while since I've done a Brazil run, because Brazil is a really fun one to do. Because they have some really cool scripted content. But yeah, that's interesting. I like that. Someone has to be the reactionary-leaning fascist IG. And since the game is based in Marxist lens of society, it's no wonder the devs chose the petit bourgeoisie for that. Very true, right? Very true. Petit bourgeoisie has a consistent pattern. They oppose any cultural diversity. The wiki lists the national supremacy requirement. The pattern fits. They also hate free speech. Proto-Nazis. That should be their t-shirts. Proto-Nazis. I think the petite bourgeoisie would be unusable as Brazil if they didn't get to swap it out. Yeah, that's true too, right? That's a good point. I mean, that would make them difficult to utilize in that country if that were the case. Although I do find sometimes the modernizer movement is a little difficult to deal with. I always forget why. I always forget the reasons why, and then I have to look them up again. But whenever I see the movements, I'm like, oh, I remember I like that movement, or oh, I remember I don't like that movement. So I'll have to remember why. But there's something about the modernizer movement I remember being like, I don't know about those guys. All right, how much longer? 26 months till we get nationalism. And then we can get Moldavia. Let's make sure relations are still good. Although, if they decrease autonomy on them... Actually, yeah, let's take a look at what's going on here. Vassalization, too. Birth rate is low if soul is low. Yeah. We are above our expected. In fact, our upper classes are living large right now. Especially if you centralize urbanization in states with the 100 acceptance pops. Actually, yeah, and you just made me think of, too, we have extra coal. So we need to be keeping up with our urban centers here. Let's get some gas street lights. We don't have a glassworks yet, though. So maybe we'll add that in. We don't want to add it now, though, in case these guys want to build it. Look at that. We got tons of iron. But because of how awful the Ottoman market is, it is making it a little pricey for us. I would like to keep these 3 sectors going. I wonder, alright, can we do anything else with some agreements here? Oh, they will support us now. This is nice. It's interesting they don't want us to have a power block embassy. Is there anything they want us to pass? Probably not. We don't. I really don't want to give them investment rights. I don't want to owe them an obligation, because eventually we're going to go to war. I mean, I know it'll time out eventually, but... mechanical tools. What were we waiting for? Oh, the sulfite pulping and paper. Alright, we'll come back to this. Right, so now... And sulfur. I think we got tons of sulfur, right? Well, not tons, but we got some. Alright, we're almost at that. Ooh. Oh, well, this just needs to higher up. We have the tools. How much would we need for the Atmo engine here? 33. I don't know. That'll make tools a little expensive here. Let's try it. Yeah, start hiring up there. Alright, so we're continuing with the barracks. Oh, good. Okay, so we're starting now on the artillery. I thought I did 15... Oh, no, that's right. I did 13 and 12. So if we get professional army, I'll be able to make that 15 and 15. How are we on groceries? Plus 44. And what about liquor? Liquor, 36. So, if we switch this out, we'll lose 63 in groceries. So I'm thinking about mobilization options right now for when we go to war. So we'll build one more. We'll switch this to... You know what? We don't need to switch it. We'll keep it as is. Oh, we could do sweeteners. There we go. So now, plus 12. Where's liquor? Plus 77. So let's add that, add that. So we won't have tobacco or opium. Ooh, excellent. Okay. So I do want to add 2 more. And then we have 12, so 3 more here. So 15 and 15. Oh, that's right, though. So now we have less conscripts. So let's add... I would like to add National Guard. There were other things we were going to do. Like getting off of serfdom. But we're going to need this sooner rather than later. Let's do this. Because this will give us more conscripts. Alright, we're actually getting fairly close to being able to get ready for war. We could do bulk trading. All right. More cotton, more wheat. Okay. Well, these guys should be ready to be sold, right? This is profitable. Nobody wants these profits? Oh. Did it sell? Yeah, oh, it did. There it went. Okay. The arms industry. Okay, so let's take that off. I want to make sure all this stuff doesn't sell the moment we build it. So let's sell this too. All right, all right, all right. All right, what do we got here? A series of perceived poor decisions by the peasant movement has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support. Okay, fine. All right, so here's the thing. So if we get this up to, like, how many soldiers are we thinking we need here for this war? So we'll have 15 and 15. 30. If we pass National Guard, it says we'll get 12 more battalions, or conscripts. We have 8 already, that's 20. So 40. So we kind of want to do 5 and 5. And then 5 more. But the thing is, we're going to need, in order to cover the amount we'll need when we mobilize, we kind of need 2 more. So once we finish this build queue here right now, we'll be able to go to war. I hope though that they don't lower these guys' autonomy. I don't know if that's going to mess up creating the personal union. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And actually, once we get National Guard, we have excess bureaucracy. If we expand the institution, we get a little bit more. Looking at the laws reminds me how you can have free speech and secret police without problems. You're free to say anything you want, but if I really don't like it, we're not gonna see you tomorrow vibes. Yeah, right. I think that's how that would exist. Go ahead, push your luck. Keep talking, and tomorrow you'll be gone. Don't forget to use the recruitment edits. They clearly designed to allow smaller countries to punch above their weight. Wait, the recruitment edits. What do you mean by that? Cam M, hey, hello, how are you? Welcome. Is there a lot of playstyle variety between countries? I think there's a lot of playstyle variety between countries. Hold on, let me read this and then I'll finish that thought. More pragmatically inclined members of the intelligentsia currently opposed to the passing of National Guard have offered to change their stance were they to be offered certain political concessions. Such concessions would not be popular with the armed forces. All right, let's do this one. Yeah, so like right now, we are focusing on kind of military and construction sectors because we have to go to war with the Ottomans fairly early. So we got to go to war with the Ottomans to get independence, but we're also diplomatically going to get land from Russia and Austria. So we're kind of playing a game of war and diplomacy here, whereas, let's say, one of my favorite countries, Congo, which is also a small nation, but is kind of relatively safe militarily until the mid-game. This one, you're really just building an economy from scratch. So you're building buildings, you're trying to disempower your landowners, but this one is really built around building up your internal economy. I showed the example earlier of Venezuela, where Venezuela has a really interesting starting situation in that they're a small country, and they start with interventionism, which is a great law to have, but is actually a very difficult law to have if you're a small country starting out. Because Venezuela starts without any of the infrastructure to really help with interventionism. And so with this country, you're actually building up slower because you start with interventionism, because you lose 50% of your... well, not lose. You're splitting 50% of your construction points with the private sector the moment you build a construction sector, as opposed to splitting 75-25, which allows you to build up a little bit. So this is a much slower build, as you do everything else in your country. Whereas Herat, or what was Mascara, you're under immediate military threat. Herat is under immediate military threat with Persia. Mascara under threat from France. You're immediately building military and getting ready to go to war. So yeah, every country has a different starting situation, which is something I really love about it. A lot of people say a lot of people will say, "Oh, the play style is the same. There's not a lot of variation." But honestly, I think the reason why a lot of people say that is because you're playing as the same nations all the time. You're only playing as the great powers. And so if you're only playing as these 6 nations, cycling through them to start all your games, or maybe some of these, then yeah, the playstyle might be a little similar. But when you really open it up, your games to the entire world, I think every country has a different starting situation because every country is a little different. Representing his constituents and the landowners, Virgil de Hohenzollern has issued a formal petition to the Wallachian government to pass censorship. Okay, we don't really want this. We'll lose 5 here. We don't really mind that. Okay, we're going to say no to this. I mean, the decrees you can do using authority. The recruitment. Oh yeah. I see what you mean. Yes, recruitment. Recruitment efforts. Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we could probably. Oh, it does change it a little bit. Okay, yeah. So we'll wait on it. But yeah, I forgot too. We can get a lot more conscripts with that. Very cool. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, of course. No problem at all. And thanks for stopping by and watching the run here. Hawaii was interesting in that in-game it used to have multiculturalists to start already. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't done a Hawaii run in a long time. When I was first playing the game, before the game really clicked, like we were talking about before, when a Paradox game finally clicks. Um, Before I had that, I would do these like Hawaii runs because I wanted to like build up a small country. And looking back, I had no idea what I was doing. So I should try it. I should try another Hawaii run sometime soon. Especially now with the implementation of trade centers. I bet that would really change a Hawaii run. What happened in real life, if I don't bad remember, was the European elites that moved to the country enforced a constitution for their own power only, then coup the kingdom and lobbied for annexation. Oh, do you mean here in Wallachia? Yeah, I mean, that is kind of what happened there. I have on the Discord, I posted a couple videos to give some historical background on Wallachia that gets us to our starting position. And yeah, it's a really interesting thing that happened with them. And then the video actually goes into a little bit of the history that happens during this time period that we're playing now. Okay. So we've got a little bit of a military built up, though it is costing us some money. We're probably not going to get to the war this episode. But we'll probably have ourselves set up for it. Oh, you mean in Hawaii? European elites that moved to the country enforced a constitution for their own power only, then coup the kingdom and lobbied for annexation. Yeah. Although, was it Europeans or was it Americans? Because I feel like, from what I know, the U.S. kind of really screwed over the Queen of Hawaii and kind of forced them to join the U.S. at gunpoint. Like a kind of not so blatant gunpoint, but a kind of implied gunpoint. An influential faction within the industrialists has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of National Guard. Themselves in favor of the law, they have now resolved to form a separate political faction, intent on passing it. No, we'll take this one. So the fertilizer plants here will give us additional grain. Ooh, although suddenly we're pretty good on grain. Although, are we getting that from the Ottomans? Not really, no. But we're going to need that for our barracks. More food industries. Oh yeah, we'll need more for the food industries. And then we build up the rest of the barracks and these two things. And then I think we're ready to go. Oh, nice. They're building us a glassworks. I have to say, I am surprised by our private sector building here. They're actually building useful things for us. I'm not used to that. Oh, we're about to get... Ooh. Oh, Egypt left. Nice. And we are about to get nationalism. Oh, yeah. Alright. Well, it's a perfect time. Take a very short break because we're going to get hit with ads in a moment. So very quick bathroom break. Get a little bit more water. And I'll be right back very, very quickly. All right, and we're back. Right. As far as I know, it was a mostly European sugar barons. Oh, here we go. As far as I know, it's mostly European sugar barons and some wealthy natives. Oh, okay. As said coup was backed by the U.S. Marines later with intimidation tactics. Basically, they got the industrialist coup event. Oh, interesting. Okay. Man, maybe that'd be an interesting future run at some point. Do Hawaii. Look at the history of that. It would be a tough run, but hey, why not? Here we go. All right, so here's the event that we wanted. The Danubian principalities rouse from their long lethargy. The rights and interests of the homeland cry out for liberation. The good and happiness of the Romanian nation demands action. We must pursue union and help build a single country for our people. Caution must be exercised. However, we cannot upset any great powers in the process. Press for union. By our strength and wits, we have taken the first steps in uniting the Romanian nation. The future beckons. Oh yeah, here we go. And then, together we are stronger. We must preserve the tentative union we have, that from it we may forge a single great Romania. So this is going to give us that that Russian state. And look at our flag. See, I told you the United Principalities flag is awesome. Okay, let's take this. So, and we have to maintain the union for 10 years. And then we will get this state from Russia, Bessarabia. But now Moldavia is a subject of ours. I appreciate the alt description text that every event has. Yeah, it's very good for immersion. Yeah, I do. I love it, right? It does help out sometimes. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So now we are the United Principalities. We did that. We've got Moldavia. Oh, look at that. We are now 29th in the world of minor power. Not bad. Oh, the Ottomans. Okay. So while we're doing our build queue, let's begin damaging relations. Oh, let's take a save. We haven't saved since we started the run. Yikes. So next is the war with the Ottomans. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Chum, hello. Hey, love the channel, man. Oh, thank you. Oh, man, thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Thanks for the positivity. Always nice. I appreciate that. Alright. How are you doing? I don't think we have any more urban buildings to sell, yeah. And we just have these iron mines, which I want to hold on to because we're about to get corporate charters. Exactly. The first one I want to make is this. The Metal Consortium. We definitely need that. Frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding National Guard, Nikolay got... I don't know why I see this and I see Nicolas Cage. Like, that was my first instinct. Oh, corporate charters. Hello. So, frustrated with the lengthy legal process surrounding National Guard, Nicolas Cage of the Armed Forces has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. Yeah, I would like to get these guys not so happy. We'll take the enactment time on that. Triagonal toast. I love it. I love it. W Chum, easy sub for ham and chum. Yeah. I'll take that. You're the best toast man. Great screen name, Triagonal Toast. I love it. I think Nicholas is a pretty rare name in the U.S., isn't it? Nicholas. Not anymore. So, you know what's interesting is all the names from when I was a kid are now kind of rare names. And all the names that weren't that rare, or all the names that were rare when I was a kid, aren't anymore. So I would say Nicholas was not a common name when I was a kid, but in my kid's school, there's a few Nicholases. Same with the name Noah. Both my son and my daughter have multiple people they know named Noah. Like, every Noah has to go by the first letter of their last name because there's so many Noahs. But Nicholas also, we know a couple Nicholases. So I don't know if it's common in the U.S. or not, because it definitely wasn't that common when I was a kid. But all the names that were common when I was a kid, in my kids' classes, nobody has those names. You know, names like Jennifer. Like, I feel like I knew like 18 Jennifers in my life. Not a single person in both of my kids' classes or anybody else in their school that I know of is named Jennifer. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but that being said, let's get our Metal Consortium. All right, so who is our executive? Luca Cusa. Good. Basic entrepreneur, we get extra throughput bonus. Petite bourgeoisie traditionalist. Okay. So they have 5 of the iron mines. What can we give them? Oh, yes. Let's give them coal mines as well. Now, we don't want to give them monopoly rights on any of these things because it makes it more expensive. And considering we are going to be buying these things in the construction sectors, we don't want to make it more expensive. You should true that. I doubt a lot of people will name their kid Karen now, for example. Yes. I feel like that name is going to like go extinct in the next generation. There's going to be an entire generation without a single person named Karen. Oh my God, that's true. We all grew up having hated a Jennifer. Yeah. And refused to name our daughters after that. It's so true. We were all burned by a Jennifer. Same thing with I feel like John. I think every woman when they were younger got burned by a John. So nobody's named John. Michael. Yeah, I feel like there's not a single Mike or Michael in any of my kids' classes. Let's see, what else? Yeah. Yeah. All those names. But man, Karen especially. Karen got hit hard. Poor Karen. I feel bad for people like my age who are named Karen. This is like why? Why do you got to do that? Why do you got to do that to them? So they can enact a decree on us. We got to get out of this. Okay, so now. Yes. Okay, so now that we have the company, let's sell the rest of these iron mines to the metal consortium. Perfect. Look at this. Look at this throughput. 72%. So 29.1% from the company, another 5% from the executive, 8% from economy of scale, and we're still encouraging the resource industry. So that is a lot of iron. I had a Chad in my grade growing up. I guess Chad is a meme like Karen. Yeah, Chad is supposed to be like the male version of Karen. Chad went the other way, yeah. God, my mom told me when she was pregnant, she was considering naming me Chad. I was like, Mom, thank the Lord you did not go with that name. Oh my God, if I had grown up with the name Chad, no offense to anybody named Chad out there, it's just, it would have been a very interesting thing if I had been named Chad. Considering, you know, not to like give out too much personal info about myself, but my dad is Arab and my mom is like of European descent, so I have an Arabic name. So that's why I laugh. The idea of me being named Chad is just like a completely different life. A newspaper called the Romanian Dobruja Times has printed a bigoted article about the Ukrainian people living there. We can suppress the article or we can let it be released. Yeah, I'd rather not get standard of living decreases. We can afford to lose some authority for 2 years. This afternoon, Emilian Dolesco, leader of the Petite Bourgeoisie, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of National Guard. Yes, let's do that. Uh-oh. Alright, headphones are going out. So let's do a quick headphone change. Alright, is it connected? There we go. Sorry, everybody. I'm clicking things to hear the sound. Alright. So where are we here? More petite bourgeoisie stuff, yeah. When the people they don't like complain, send in the troops. Send in, yeah. When the people they like don't complain, send in the troops. That's why we're getting that National Guard. That's how we do it in the new United Principalities. If you don't mind sharing, what do you teach? I teach theater. So I'm a college professor. I'm a playwright, as well as a Victoria 3 player. And so I teach theater, but I mainly just teach intro to theater. So it's mainly, I mainly teach people at the very beginning of their college career, or because intro to theater is like a general education requirement, or I'm teaching people at the very end of their college career because they put off one of their GE requirements, and so they're taking my class to finish that one out. I never get anybody like in the middle. Yes, I am. I am a thespian. I'm not an actor though. I've done some acting, but I'm a playwright. I I like to say behind the scenes. But I mainly teach non-theater majors. So I'm teaching mostly a lot of people who have never encountered theater in their life, and I'm teaching them about theater. And the class isn't just about theater itself. I focus it primarily on teaching people how to better express their opinion on things. To not just state what their opinion on something is, but to actually articulate why they feel the way they do. And on top of that, how do you express these opinions and these views in a public scenario? Wallachia has come a long way since our attention was first brought to it, going from small houses and scattered farmlands to being on its way to becoming a blooming metropolis. Let's take the urban center throughput. Oh wait, loyalists from political movements. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, so you have the people that are excited to come and the ones who are incredibly burned out. Yes, exactly. It is a beautiful combination of the two. People, half of them are just so excited to finally be out of high school and be an adult. And then the other half are like, being an adult sucks. I just want to get out of here. I love it. It's a lot of fun. I love teaching non-theater majors too, because you get some views and opinions on plays that I've never heard before. Do all theater people like Hamilton? Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I like Hamilton. I've seen it before. I've seen it once. And I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I think all theater people will love Hamilton. You know who probably doesn't like Hamilton? People who auditioned for it and didn't get cast in it. I'm sure there's a small contingent of actors out there who are like, that show's bullshit. And they won't say it because it's like, because they didn't cast me. So there you go. That'll be the theater people who don't like it. They're just salty, exactly. Although it's really interesting, because of the musical style of Hamilton. There was a school that I taught at. I'm not there anymore, but it was a community college. There was a student there. She was an acting student. She was also a musician, and she made I guess I don't know what genre you would call it, whether it was like R&B type of music, maybe, or maybe even it would be full on rap. But she auditioned for one of the national tours of Hamilton and got in, which is fantastic. I mean, coming out of this community college to get in a national tour like that, like, you are now on your way. And so she was out there because, like, the people who are in the national tour of something like Hamilton are like some pretty well-established New York City Broadway level theater actors, right? And then there was her, who was right out of community college. And she found part of the reason why she probably got it was because these actors who were like trained in musical theater and the musical style of musical theater found a very difficult time getting accustomed to the rap lyrics of Hamilton. Whereas for her, that was her musical style. She was good at it. And so she had a much easier time with it than a lot of these like classically trained musical theater actors, which was just something that gave me a lot of joy. In the midst of the debate surrounding National Guard, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the armed forces, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. Yeah, let's add enactment success chance. Now, I would like the budget to be a little bit better here. Oh, tools. Tools is where we are hurting. Although, you know, we can do steel tools now. Yeah, maybe it's time we built a steel mill because we have the iron and coal for it. So we're going to actually do that sooner rather than later. I think once we get this, and we can increase the amount of tools, we've got a ton of iron, we've got plenty of wood. Once we get plenty of tools, I think we can add another construction sector here. Not to mention that'll give us another urban building to sell. Oh yeah, so let's make this profitable. What is grain in our market? Oh, we got a lot of grain, but we're still going to utilize it because I don't care about hurting farmers here. So this will make this, yeah, a little bit more profitable. That makes sense. The Lin-Manuel rapping style does not seem easy. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know anybody, how many of you have seen Hamilton, but the actor David Diggs, who plays Thomas Jefferson, like his rapping style is like very fast, right? And he mentioned how Lin-Manuel Miranda can't actually do his part because the tempo at which he has to rap is something that is a very unique talent that Lin-Manuel Miranda himself can't actually do. And so David Diggs was like the one that could actually do it. So you think about like the actors who, you know, how many actors can actually do that? How many like musical theater trained actors can actually do that? There's probably not that many. And he was great at that part. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like the idea that you can write a part that you yourself can't actually do. All right, let's sell this. Excellent. All right, let's get this steel mill done. All right, we're almost there for that. Almost there. So once we finish this stuff out, actually, I'm going to go ahead. What is this? Wait, what? Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, look at that. Oh, we're on. Oh, we did get this. I thought, okay, I thought we got the whole state. We just get this little bit. Oh, so we still got to get this from Russia. But we are now on the sea. So let's build a port and a trade center. Oh my lordzos. Put that up there. That's very cool. I had a similar experience teaching coding in a oh, hello, National Guard. Teaching coding in a relatively entry-level class. I don't think I got as many wild takes as you probably got, but it was still refreshing. Oh, very cool. Oh, so you taught coding. See, here's what's interesting. I started my undergraduate studies as a computer science major. When I was a kid, I was very much into computers. I was doing web design as a hobby, like in the mid '90s, before it was like a thing. I should have stuck with it, considering what's going on now. But yeah, I started college as a computer science major. I had always been a writer, but for me, writing was always a hobby. I never really thought about it as like a profession. And so at some point in college, I ended up switching to theater and becoming a playwright. But I still say this to this day, and this is like a thesis I'm going to write at some point. Everything I know about story structure, I learned from my computer science classes, from my coding classes. Because if you really think about the structure of a story, it very much resembles the structure of a computer program. You have a main objective, a main function. Everything that you open, you close. You break that main function down into these smaller objectives or modules. And all of those modules lead in and add up to the main objective. And at the very end of the story, you return everything to zero. And so in a very quick nutshell, I mean, that's basically the structure of any computer program and the structure of any story. And so, yeah, I feel like everything I know about story structure I learned in my computer science classes, oddly enough. Yes. This is excellent that we are on the coast. And we got this Russian, Dobruja. We still need to get this, though, from them. Of course, it's not going to be too easy for us. Insightful. Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you think so, because it's something that I'm like, I need to write this out someday, write out like a thing about this. That's so wild, because I have the same experience, but flip. I started out as a creative writer. Oh my god, that's crazy. But switched to coding, and everything I know about coding I learned in English classes. See, that's how you know it's true, because it works both ways. Oh, I love it. That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, it all works hand in hand, and I just find it so funny because, like, it used to be a thing at some point in history that, like, if you were going to be a scientist, you needed to know the arts. You needed to have a background in the arts. And every person in the arts had a background in the sciences. And now they're so separate, you know, like when you study science, so many people who study science are like, oh, I don't need to know anything about art. And I can't tell you how many of my artist friends I know that are like, oh, math, I hate math. Math sucks. And I'm like, to be a good artist, you need to know about that. Maybe that's why I'm so bad at coding. Yeah, I should have stuck with computer science. I mean, I ended up getting, it's funny, in undergrad, I got a bachelor's degree in theater with a minor in computer science. Because by the time I switched to theater, I had realized I only needed one more class in the computer science program to get to complete the minor. So I had the unique training of having A major in theater and a minor in computer science. Oh man, everybody. All right. I think we are at that time. We did some good work here tonight, huh? We started the run. We've got, we made a good, strong starting here. I think in the next, well, definitely in the next episode, but probably near the beginning of it, we're going to do our independence war with the Ottomans. So, yeah. So, and that'll be on Wednesday. So, Wednesday night, I'll be continuing this run. The next time I'm on, though, will be Wednesday morning. We'll be continuing the Civilization 7 run. So, I'll be on again on Wednesday, Civ 7 in the morning. More Victoria 3 at night. Yeah, already? Yeah, geez. Yep, unfortunately. It is that time of night. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. Sticking around, hanging out. Always good. Actually, if you're on Twitch, we are going to do a raid. It's good. A good friend of mine is doing a Victoria 3 session right now. So we get some more Victoria 3 fun in there. If you're on YouTube, unfortunately, that's going to be a good night. Oh, Cloudofan, hello, hello. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Oh, and a subscribe. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. Oh, Cam, that's you. Awesome. You've earned my Twitch Prime. It's just been sitting there. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Yeah, it's been great. Awesome. All right, so yeah, on Twitch, we're going to do a raid into my friend Swole Joel, who's doing some Victoria 3. Unfortunately, on YouTube, that's going to be a goodbye for the night, so thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're on Twitch, stick around. If you're on YouTube, have a good night, and to everyone, as always, be awesome. I'll see you next time.